Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame, though it might be nice.
What a game. But so much to talk to in this game, guys. Like, if you compare game 1 to game 2 of this series, like, it literally feels like 2 series in one. This game 2 just, the whole series just changed. Like, it felt different. But let's state the obvious. Like, obviously the Sixers are up 1-0 in this series, and you know, they blew out the Heat in a pretty bad way. Like, I think it was like almost a 30-point, it was a 27-point L. Like, it was bad if you're the Heat or a Heat fan like me. Like, it was just not something you wanted to see. But you know that the Heat are gonna answer back. Like, it's like a full-on fight. Like, you know, the Sixers just took that first swing, like, took a pretty bad punch, and you already know that the Heat are gonna come back in game 2 and just swing right back. And that's exactly what happened. And I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Coming into this game, I already knew I wasn't expecting like 28 from Redick, 20 whatever Ilya Silva had, and then Bellinelli too. Like, I'd still expect him to hit tough shots, but you know, I wouldn't expect him to like go off like they did in game 1. And I really like how the Heat came out in this game, especially on the offensive end, because if you know, like, after halftime in the first game, like, the Heat were just struggling to find offense, and that's where the game pretty much ended in that third quarter. Like, it went bad after that. But you know, we came out, had traded shots for a bit, like for maybe first 10 points for each team, and I really liked how the Heat were really like pressuring everyone. Well, I know you have to pressure everyone, but like all of Philly's 3-point shooters, like your Bellinellis, your JJ Redicks, you know, those guys that had like really good game 1s, like the Heat were just up in there pressuring them, and that's what you got to do. But a big difference from this game 2 to game 1 is that when Ben Simmons was, obviously Ben Simmons is their facilitator, but as in game 1, like, this man, like, we were just giving him room to operate and, you know, like, get his passes, because you know that's what Ben Simmons does. Like, he's always looking to pass the ball to his teammates for good, not wide open, but like mostly good shots, and that's what he does. You know, it's what he's really good at. And I really liked how our guys like James Johnson, Justice Winslow, you know, those guys were picking him up from full court, and it turns out like it really worked for the Heat. You know, Ben Simmons' assists were way down from the first game, and you know, assists is probably going to equal to 3-pointers for Philly, because you know, he can just kick it right out. But I was a fan of that, of how we were able to really kind of control the pace of this one, because in that first game it really felt like we were going full on Philly pace. And you know, like, the Sixers, they love to run, they love to shoot threes. But some things I really liked from this game is I really liked our defense just all around in game 2 compared to game 1, because in game 1, like at halftime, the Heat still had like a 12-point lead, but you know, it was like more of a high scoring game. But in this one, like, we kept Philly to like a season low 40-something points, and that's exactly what we want. You know, we want this game played at the Heat's pace with Heat defense. And even with the Heat's 14-point lead at half, like, I knew this was going to be a close game, because that's how it's been all year, not just in the playoffs, but in the regular season. The Heat and Sixers have been in so many close games, like, it's not even funny. But let's talk about the real thing from this game, and that is Dwayne Wade, number 3 for the Heat, best player to ever wear a Heat uniform. Actually, let me check this out right here. Number 3, D Wade. Like, what he did tonight just left me speechless. Like, D Wade at 36 can still make shots, can still take over games, can still just control like a whole game, and that's exactly what he did. But I'm gonna be shouting out Kevin Hart, because after this crazy amazing game that Dwayne Wade had, like, he said it was all because of Kevin freaking Hart. And Kevin Hart, you're invited to every Heat game in this postseason. You're invited to game 3, 4, 6, because I'm thinking it's going to go 7. So you're invited to every game that the Heat has in this round. because boy did you set Dwayne Wade off, and you set him off bad. Like when he came off the bench, it was nice to see his first couple shots going on. I was like, yeah, Dwayne Wade is doing his part, he's contributing, because you know if the Heat are gonna win, you need a full team effort from everybody. But no, man, Dwayne Wade said, give me that ball, like this is my game. And the thing that's crazy is how he's 36 and like he still finds it in him to have moments like this. And that's just him. Like, as a Heat fan, what I know about Dwayne Wade is he lives for these playoff moments. And you know, you can't teach that. You either got it in you or you don't. But Dwayne Wade has definitely stepped it up in this game. Like, without his 28 points, like if he doesn't at least drop 20, like I really don't think the Heat win, despite all the great efforts on the defensive end by everyone. And Dragic's 20 points, James Johnson not missing a shot, Richardson pitching in his 14. Like, if D-Wade doesn't drop those 28, like, none of that would matter. Like, I'd be sitting here, like, scratching my head like this, crying, probably being terrified, like, the Heat are down 0-2 against the Sixers, and I'd probably say that this be over. The series could probably be over in 4 or 5, but Dwayne Wade, like man, like I just look back, like the cool part is like he's 36, you know, he's back with the Heat, he'll probably retire with the Heat. Like the cool part is like in 10-15 years everyone's gonna look back at this and be like, yeah, we didn't show this man enough credit, like not enough appreciation, because of like how, like the type of player that he is. Like Dwayne Wade to me is probably the best shot blocking 2 guard in NBA history. Definitely a top 3 shooting guard in NBA history. Like, and the thing is, like with all the talent that there's around, like he might actually end up getting overlooked once it's all said and done. And just to think about that is crazy, because like, no offense to Kobe, because Kobe's one of the greats, but at 36, like he was done. Like he wasn't making the postseason, he wasn't dropping, he wasn't having big playoff games like he did in his prime. But man, that Dwayne Wade's one of a kind, and to me he'll always be my favorite player. I'm not just being biased, like it's in the stats, it's in NBA history. Like this man can perform, like he is clutch. Like when you need him to score, when you need him to take over a game, it don't matter if he's 26, 36, 56, 6 years old. Like this man can do it, and I'm sure his sons have that clutch gene too. You know, I'll bring his son on board next season. We'll sign him as a free agent. He'll probably drop fucking 26 in the playoffs. But all jokes aside, guys, like D-Wade took over this game. But one of the coolest things I've seen Dwayne Wade do is hit that shot over Ben Simmons. You know, giving the Heat an 8-point lead, pretty much making the game out of reach, and he just turns around and looks AI and Kevin Hart right down the floor. He's just saying, nah, man. Like, just seeing that live on TV, well, it would have been better in person, but just seeing that live, like, that's a moment that I'll never forget in Heat history as a Heat fan. Like, that's just something special. But unfortunately, Dwayne Wade's 36, like, he can't do it every night, but it was, that was a special moment, you know, because you don't, like, Dwayne Wade's thinking about retiring after this season. Like, it's out there, like we've heard it, but I try to cherish these kinds of moments from him, because I don't know how many more I'm gonna get to see, you know, as a Heat fan and as a basketball fan, because this dude's a first ballot Hall of Famer, 3-time champion, best shot blocking 2 guard in the NBA. And to all those people, like all those NBA reporters or analysts or whatever they're called, like saying that Dwayne Wade can't do it again in the playoffs, bet. This dude is 36, just dropped 28, took over a game in Philadelphia. Like, this was not a home game for the Heat. This was all on the road, guys. That's why I need to throw out there too. Like, this was all on the road. Like, if it's at home, you'd see why, but no, this way we went into someone else's gym and Dwayne Wade did all that, and the Heat won. Like, this is definitely a game I won't forget for a while. Like, this is one of the better playoff games the Heat have had since, you know, LeBron left Miami. But don't ever question Dwayne Wade. Like I said, a lot of people don't think he's got it anymore. They don't think he could do it again. Wouldn't even surprise me if he drops another 25-28 on Game 3, which is completely realistic because the Heat will be back home. Like, I will never doubt Dwayne Wade. Like, don't ever doubt him. That's all I gotta say. But as for game 3, like, how can the Heat take this momentum back home and win this game and try to take a 2-1 lead in the series? Because to me, neither team really has any advantage over the other right now. They split the 2 games in Philly, but you know the Sixers are gonna make adjustments for game 3. I don't know if Embiid will play or not. I'm hearing 50% saying yeah, 50% saying no. So, well, like, either way, we like Coach Spo said before the series even started, the Heat are gonna plan as if he was gonna play. And obviously, as a Heat fan, like, if he's like, seeing Joel would just make this series tougher. Not saying that I don't want him to play, because Joel playing this series would just be real fun. And maybe it'll get Whiteside going, because Whiteside's like really been nowhere to be found these last 2 games. And you know, they got that little rivalry going. Like, that'd be fun to see, especially in the playoffs. But as for game 3, to me, I feel like it's all going to be on our defensive end. Like, we have to, like, pretty much pick up Ben Simmons full court, try to turn him into a scorer, because Ben Simmons passes the ball. He loves to pass the ball. That's what he does best. I think if we could do that and maybe, like, control the pace of the game, I'm not going to guarantee a win, because, you know, this series in the regular season and the postseason has just been crazy close, like close game after close game. We got one blowout win in the regular season. They got a blowout win on us, game 1. You know, so to me these teams are extremely even or evenly matched. But who knows? I'm not guaranteeing a Heat win, but I feel like that would give the Heat the best chance to win. And now obviously I'm hoping for a Heat win for game 3. Sorry, Sixers fans, like, I mean, you guys can bring Kevin Hart, you know, that'd be pretty cool. Maybe Dwayne Wade will drop another 28 points. Because, you know, as a Heat fan and even as a basketball fan, like, I'd like to see that. That'd make me really happy. But let me know what you guys thought about this game 2. What you guys think about Dwayne Wade's crazy vintage performance? Like, Dwayne Wade looked like he was 26 out there. But do you guys wish you guys could see more of those Dwayne Wade performances, even at his age now? But overall, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, like, this is probably one of the craziest playoffs games I've seen in a while. Dragic's layup at the end, though, that was savage. Like, there was no reason for Dragic to do that, but he did it, which is just gonna fuel the pot even more for game 3. And, like, I'm definitely looking forward to it. And let me know if you guys are looking forward to it. What do you guys think about this game? And before I go, let me quickly give you my prediction on game 3. I got the Heat winning game 3, not just because I'm a Heat fan, but just because the series is going back to Miami. And my prediction for game 3, and I'm not being biased, but I got the Heat winning, man. I know the series is 1-1, but the series is going back to Miami, Wade County, the Heat's house. You know, I feel like D Wade's gonna have another good night. I'm not saying he's gonna drop another 28, but maybe 20. That's a possibility. Not gonna doubt that. But I got the Heat 108-103, like, just by a landslide. Like, I expect Philly to want revenge. I expect them to be ready for game 3, just like how the Heat will. I expect another close competitive game. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with it, and I'll see you guys after game 3. Peace.
Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't